Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Ian I Explore. Today we're going to take a look at two streets. Nelson Street, which is off Freeman Street, and Silver Street, which is off Victoria Street. So let's go and take a look. And off on Nelson Street, which is off Freeman Street, and behind me is Railway Street. And over there used to be that multi-storey car park, and it used to smell absolutely bad. I think it was used as the toilets, you guys, anyway, from the pub. But anyway, let's go take a look. Nelson Street, so what was on here? Quite a few pubs, I must say. So we had the Red Lion, which is on the corner of Freeman Street and Nelson Street. You could see the P-Bung across the road from it, and a bit further down you had Cox's. Then you had the Bricklayers Arms, the Black Bull, the Corporation Hotel, and the Locomotive Tavern, which is number 22 Railway Street. But it was on here, so that's a few pubs just down one street, isn't it? So you could get quite drunk on this one. I mean, I have done it on the pubs crawl video, but today is this street. But mainly, it was housing down here. I mean, it isn't now. It's I'll show you around there, but you've just like I've seen across there. There's where the multi-storey car park was. This building, I don't know what on earth they're doing there, but yeah, there's no idea. This is County Court on that letterbox, but we'll go a bit further down. But there is, I mean, there's a couple of buildings down here that are still here, which is great, but a lot of it has gone. So I'm going to go a bit further down, and I'll tell you a bit more when I get to the other side of the road, because there's things that was the other side of the road, which I had a comment from. This is what prompted me to do this street, and I'll explain that a bit later on. So let's go and have a look what is still here. Okay, we're talking 19th century, 1800s thereabouts, 1885, around about that area. Right, let's move down. See that blue there? That used to be a chemist, where you can see all the old windows that are filled in there. And on the corner there is the Corporation Arms. So the building you're looking at there, that used to be a bank. It's now a butcher's. And I think it's been a few things during the time as well, but that's an original building round here. And like I was saying on this side, these are as well. The Corporation Arms, definitely. Right, so one of my comments on one of my last videos, I think it was a really good one. I'd like to thank the man that gave me this. He said that down Nelson Street, there was this guy, he was charging you to go and have a bath. Now, I'm guessing he's a bit like an entrepreneur, let's say. Come in here, I'll charge you tuppence or threepence to go and have a bath or something like that. But that's really good, because that's all I can think of. And if you've got any information on that one, that'd be really great, because this is like an unknown, but not now, because one of my subscribers told me about this. But if you did want to go for a bath, you'd go in Grimsby. Anyway, this is the only one I could find. There's probably a lot more than this being around, but the Turkish Baths on 296 Lower Burgess Street, and it opened in 1892. Okay, and described in the local directory as Turkish and Russian baths, and the secretary was J.C. Jepson. So that's what you did. You probably go in there, you had your weekly bath, and you went home, because we didn't have baths in our houses until at least, the 20th century. But even then, you only had cold water and a tap in the backyard or in the top of your street where you went and got your water from and took it home. You see, if you was posh back then, let's say one of the manor houses was round here, I don't know, the one in Whalesby Woods for argument's sake, or the likes of watching Downton Abbey, that type of building, you would have had that because you was rich enough to have water piped into your house. Unlike today, it's standard, isn't it? It's been quite standard for quite a long time now. And as for hot water, well, there's another one. You know, they invented the boilers. Obviously, on the ships, they was having that all the time, wasn't they? I mean, Titanic had boilers and all that kind of thing. But if you was rich enough to have one of them in your house, you had hot water. But then again, we didn't have that in our houses for a long time. So, you know, that was something else that happened. Okay, and as for some, this is, I know this is getting a bit dark. It's on bathrooms, guys, isn't it? Right, and we didn't. Okay, I'll tell you this one fact. The first rail flushing toilet was patented by Alexander Cubbins. And he was a watchmaker. And he did that in 1775, so you can see how long things take to get around. You know, to come inside your houses like today, like this street. I'm on Nelson Street. It took a long time before we had that kind of thing. Right, so I'm going to carry on a bit and tell you a bit more. This is another one. The first widespread use of a modern public toilet was that's outside. You know, like when you're in town, you go for you're desperate, you go for a pee, don't you? You find them. But they're common nowadays in every place, you know, town centres, shopping areas. By the way, the first public toilet was was on the great exhibition in London in 1851. And it featured George Jennings's, and he's called this, I mean, I don't know if this is right in saying this, but this is what he called it, and what I'm reading you guys, the monkey closet. I think we all called it the outhouse, didn't we? And he demonstrated that it was a flushing toilet. So this is in public now, like your councils had put up, then knocked down like they do around here. I mean, we had a few around town. There's even one on Nuns Corner. Anybody remember that one? One down Corporation Road near the Boulevard. I can't remember any more than that. I know there was one in the Bullring area there. You went underground to it. But you see what I mean? We had a lot of them because you didn't have them in your house. Right, Nelson Street, here we go. So, but it ran and carried on straight down there. So where this car park is now, you guys, you can see the bookies over there and that. In there was a group of buildings, and I think I'm reading this right, or it looks like Lushy's Buildings. That was what was in there. On this corner here, hard to tell in it, I try and give you the best imagination as I can, you guys, was the St Andrew's Mission Hall on this corner here, where I'm stood. On Albert Street East. Probably heard me talk about this street a few times. And down there on the corner was the Colchester Arms. Now in here, on this corner there, before it was all trashed and flats and things are built on there, I'm right the other side of Nelson Street now, a bit further down Thesiger Street, but on this corner here, where all this is, there was a mill. And it was called Albert Mill, and in brackets flour. So there's a flour mill in there, named after the very street I've been talking about, look. Okay, next we take a look at Silver Street and a bit of history and what was down there. Back to me, you guys. Right, so let's take a look at this street. This is Silver Street. I'll tell you a bit about this one as we go along. Well, as we go down what's left of it. This is one of the oldest streets in Grimsby. And there was a chapel built a bit further down from where I am, buried under, well, yeah, Freshney Place, built in 1775. A Galvanist chapel was on the left-hand side near Sanctuary Lane, long since gone. And it says that there was 14 people buried there between 1785 and 1826. Later, the chapel became a temperance hall until 1852. Temperance is like a prohibition. You know, you got that drinking, they didn't really like it, getting drunk. Nowadays, well, there you go. Okay, so what we got down here? So we had the Mason Arms, long since gone. It was demolished in 1971, and it's under there somewhere. Okay, that's where it is. But there's not a lot down here, really. I mean, there was another pub down here, and there used to be cockfighting in it. Yeah, I forgot to mention that there was an art school down this street as well. And as you're looking towards the picture at the back there, it was on the left-hand side, near enough across the road from where the Mason Arms used to be. And I've seen that on an old map. Okay, back to me on the video. Just the left of it is this building here. I know this used to be Alfred's Bins, etc. on the corner of here. And there's this one here. This is an old building, a yard, and it's original. So look at the windows up there, you guys. And if I move down here, you can see this as well, look, part of it. So this is all that's left of this street. Now I have got a picture. Now I know I've had a few comments in the past on this one. My dad actually went in there. He told me, I was sat with him before he passed away, you guys, in 2023. I was on about making a video. And he overheard me talking to a friend on the phone I was getting information from. And he said, oh, I went in there when I was 18 to have a whiskey and pep. And he told me exactly where it was and what colour was, everything like that, yeah. I've got a picture of it, and I'm going to whip this round and show you. I don't usually show pictures, but it's on there. Okay? And that looks nothing like that over there. So if any of you got members of this street, put them in the comments below. So yeah, that's another street long since gone. I mentioned Sanctuary Lane there. And most of the streets ran from here, went straight through there. You had Clayton Walk, New Beginning, Avon Street, etc. You could get to more from going through there, but sadly it's all buried. come to the end of another video there. You enjoyed that one. That was a quick look at a couple of streets there. Nelson Street off Freeman Street and Silver Street off Victoria Street in town. So on that note, I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers to the channel. I really appreciate it. And for all you watching my content, I really do appreciate that. And I will see you all next time on the next video and leave you a picture of the back of the clown up.